Back at Snappy Tomato Pizza, I'm Chris Brinkley with Coach Kevin McMillan. Coach, we hadn't talked in a while. How was your Thanksgiving holiday?
It was good. It was good. We had a great chance to get a little rest and eat some food and see family. It was fun.
Awesome. For coaches and basketball players, Thanksgiving's a little different.
It is. Now, we make a conscious effort to try to get our kids home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's not the norm. We understand, but that's just kind of what we want to do. And so the kids had 4 days off, and they'll get 4 days off again at Christmas. So, I just think it's important that they get to be with their families as much as they can, because the season is so demanding that you don't get many times to see each other. And Thanksgiving and Christmas are such special times. You do your best to try to get them back there. Sometimes it doesn't work.
You're lucky that a lot of your players are close enough where they could go home for Thanksgiving.
They actually all made it home.
Okay.
Even Rakisha, who lives in Miami, flew out Wednesday morning, and she didn't fly back until Sunday. So that's a pretty good break right in the middle of the season for her. And Megan White made it to Ohio. She actually made it from St. Louis home quicker than some of the Tennessee girls did.
Really?
So, yeah, I stayed up Tuesday night after the ball game and waited for the text messages for everybody to be home, and I got hers about 3:30, and then some of the Tennessee girls didn't get until 4:30, so it was a little long night.
I bet their parents appreciate that, though.
Well, I hope. We talk about when we recruit them that we're about family, and if we can't let them all get home to see their families, I guarantee they'll come to our house and can have Thanksgiving with us. And as much as we would love to have them, we would rather them get to go home and see their parents. It's just a special time, and we want them to be with their families.
One of my buddies, Robin Coon, whom you know, hosts a sports show, played for Coach Cal Luther at UT Martin, and he said, I think 4 years in a row he had Thanksgiving at Orion's Buffet.
When I played in college, that's exactly. Yeah. When I played in college, we had buffet dinners, or we went to McDonald's, one of the other. Well, they didn't have turkey and dressing, McTurkey or McDressing.
That's a good idea, Coach. That might be a new marketing campaign. Let's go back to your win at Southern Miss, 88-69, the final score. Tough place to play, a long road trip, and it's been a while since we played that game. That was back on November 16th. We've not talked about the game, but to talk about this game, you have to talk about the performance of your sophomore guard, Jasmine Newsom.
Well, she had a lot of her family's from that area, and they got to see her really put on a show. She had 39 points, hit 9 threes, and was just a phenomenal effort that she gave us. But what got lost in that was that they were one of the best rebounding teams in the NCAA at the time, and averaged almost 50 boards a game, and we out-rebounded them 45-29, which for us is unusual. But she really did have a great night, and we were able to get a really, really big win against the Conference USA team on the road. That
was a record performance for her, and almost a school record. She was one shy, and then the record for most three-pointers in a game at 9. Sometimes I'm lucky enough when I broadcast games because you have a stat monitor right in front of you. But if you don't have a stat monitor, sometimes you don't realize the kind of game a player is having. Did you know she was putting up those kind of numbers?
No, I had no idea that she had those kind of numbers. With Butler and Newsom, they're just sophomores, but we're already spoiled in that when they put together 25 points, you don't really think anything of it. 30 points, it's no big deal. And we are spoiled at what those kids can really do. And I had no idea she had that big a night. But I don't know. Who was it? You were messing with me about we pulled her out when she had a chance to make the record or something. Maybe that was Hart. I don't remember.
It was Hart, but I probably said something to somebody else too.
Yeah, I think I heard about it. But and I don't know that I would never coach probably any differently,
right.
Whether it was this or that. Now I guess if it was a kid's last game of the season and the game didn't matter and there was a chance to do something, maybe. But, we would have pulled it whenever we can get her out and give her some rest, we're going to. And when we had that game in hand with about 2 or 3 minutes to go, she came out. But I had no idea she had 39 points and hit 9 threes and had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. It's just an unbelievable
game. She almost had triple-double. Now, I don't know. You don't see that in women's basketball very often.
Not a lot, unless you're Brittany Griner and you're getting rebounds and blocks and points. You don't see that as much.
Just a phenomenal effort by her. Overall, though, it was a team game. Obviously, she led the way on offense, but goodness, Butler added 24, and you had 12 from Taylor Hall, and as you said, the rebounding's key in the Southern Miss win.
Yeah, if we can rebound like that, we're going to have chances to win every night. And that's, we told them at halftime, or before the game and at halftime, that the whole game was going to hinge on what they did on the boards, because we figured they weren't going to shoot the ball. They're not a great shooting team, but they are a great rebounding team, and we limited them pretty much to one shot, and that gave us a chance.
And it's just phenomenal to me. At one point in the game, you led by 28 points.
Yeah, we were up almost 30 with about 5 minutes to play, and it really, I did a double take looking at the scoreboard because I didn't realize that we were up that big, but it was just a great effort, and one that you hope you can duplicate. But if you hit 18 threes in a game, you ought to have a pretty good chance.
Coach, let's move ahead. You played Purdue the following game. Unfortunately, Jasmine didn't have that many points. She only scored 2, 1 for 9, where she struggled. But you got to believe Purdue scouted her closely after watching the 39 she put on Southern Miss.
They did, and you play these games, Chris, because you're going to find out your weaknesses are going to be glaring. And I'm not just talking about your players' weaknesses. Your strategy weaknesses as a coach, your preparation, everything is going to be heightened in this ball game. And we made some, I made some coaching mistakes in that game that I probably shouldn't have made, and I knew better. We got really good looks in the first half. I mean, we got really good looks, and we changed. We shot 23%, and we changed in the second half. So you would think I made some good coaching moves because we shot the ball a lot better, but they really weren't. It really didn't help us, and we had some things that we did in the first half that we got away from. And I'd love to have that game back and stay with what we did in the first half, even though we only scored 15 points. We just missed layups and wide open shots, and just things that we don't typically do. And I wish we could have that game back, because it wasn't. There was never a blowout. It ended up being 26, but it was 2, then it was 4, then it was 6, then it would stay there a while, then it was 8, then it was 10. It was just a slow, methodical beating, if you want to call it that. But I really do wish we could have that one back, because our kids, we were pretty prepared, and I think we just made some adjustments that we probably shouldn't have made.
In the game, I was not there. We carried it on the radio. They were really physical and big, weren't they?
It was very physical, and they let some things go that we can't let them. I mean, we cannot afford for them to let go. They let the guards play very physical, and they let a lot of bumping and stuff go out on the perimeter, and that does not play to our advantage. And that's what, if I could have that back in the second half, I would have tried to use that against Purdue, and did not do that, and that was my fault. And we tried to fix that in the next ball game, but that didn't help us much for the Purdue game. But they're 16th in the country for a reason. They have lost one of their best post players, but they still have got a great team. They're a big, strong, physical team. They shoot the ball well, and it's a great. If you've never played there, and I'd never been there, it's a great atmosphere. The people up there love basketball, and it was a fun experience.
It is neat. I was there with the men's team several years ago. Was that the game when Jaclissa, with a foul and a rebound where she threw her elbows up?
She was on the wing, and we threw it to her, and she had the ball on the left side, and she took it to the right and passed, and they called a technical for catching a girl in the head with an elbow.
Now, what I was going to go with is that was the longest delay in a game, with officials who watched the replay on the monitor and then met for, it seemed like, ever on the floor.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think they wanted to call a flagrant, and I don't know, they've changed the names now, and I don't know what they call. I'll ask them during the game. I think they wanted to call an intentional elbow on her, and there was no chance. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, everybody knew it. Their fans knew it. We knew it. The Purdue coach knew it. Everybody knew it.
The color commentator we had on the radio said, "There's no way."
Oh no, it wasn't close. Yeah. And they kept looking, and I'm like, and I told our coaches, I said, they're trying to make something that this is not. And they went out and they met, and then they went back to the monitors, and I'm going, okay, now I just sat over there and said, okay, now I'm going to explode if they come back and say that this is something that's not. And but they didn't. They came back, and they were kind of like, well, this is what the call is. And
that's my
we're all
question.
looking at them going, okay, we all knew that.
This was about a 6-minute delay or 5. It was the longest delay in the middle of a game. Everybody was becoming restless.
The band was doing the Jeopardy theme to the refs. and that was in the middle of it. Yeah. And then at the end, they did a countdown. like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's like make a decision or something. Let's play, or I don't remember what they said, but it was pretty good.
So then you and their coach walked to the center floor and talked to the officials. What was the explanation?
They explained what had happened, and she caught her with an elbow. It was not intentional, so therefore it's Purdue's ball.
Oh, and it took them six minutes to determine that.
But I'm telling you, they wanted to call something that wasn't there, and I don't know why they wanted to call what wasn't there, but it was very evident. In that game, Heather Butler had 19 and 6 rebounds and 4 assists, 40 minutes. She was tough, Coach. She was, but if you look at that and you see Jasmine gets 2,
yes,
we're in trouble. If you see that they get 16 offensive rebounds, we get 11, that we're in trouble. If you see we turn the ball over 20 times and they turn it over 7, we're in trouble.
Yeah. And you go to the free throw line 7 times, they go 21 times.
Yeah, pick a stat, and we should have been beat 50. Really, honestly, you pick a stat. They shoot 25 of 64, we're 15 of 54. We hit 6 out of 22, they're 4 out of 16. The free throws, we got killed. Boards, we got killed. Turnovers, we got killed. Killed, and it was never it wasn't a game that was 40-2. It was just kind of a pull away, and that's why I want it back, and because I think we can correct a lot of those mistakes.
Let's move ahead to St. Louis. You went on the road 70-55. In this game, 25 for Jasmine Newsom. She's back in the scoring column. Butler finishes with 21. How do we win that game, Coach?
Well, we were down 17-9, Chris, in the first half, and we were getting destroyed on the boards. We told the kids before the game this is exactly like Southern Miss, that they don't shoot the ball real well, but they will go get it. And we told them, they go get it better than Southern Miss does. And the first 5 minutes of the game, it looked like a tip drill or ping pong. They just got everything. And we were down 8, 17-9. And we substituted and played a lineup that we don't typically play. We'd never played. It was Shelby Crawford and Rakisha Bryant and Beth Hong.
At the same time?
At the same time.
You had your 3 post players in.
And we've never done it before.
I've never seen it.
And we went from down 17-9 to up 30-20 at the half.
Because you rebounded better or better interior defense?
Both.
Or what? Okay.
Both. And in the second half, we played around kind of even, and we put that lineup back in, and they went on a 15-4 run when they went back in then. So they went on 25-4 runs in the 2 halves combined, and got us up, and I think we were up as much as 23.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just an unbelievable performance by those 3. Beth had 13 rebounds. Shelby played really well, had 4 points and 5 rebounds, and Rakisha had 4 points and 5 rebounds, and Aubrey Reedy came in and played well for us. It really was an unusual game for us, and Butler had to sit for 8 minutes because she picked up some fouls. So a very, very, very good game for us against an Atlantic 10 team.
And you knew, I guess, given different situations, your team could perform because you're not used to playing without Butler on the floor.
No, and we were up 10 or 11 when she came out, and they hit a 3 and cut it down to 8 or 9, and then we took off. And it's great to see that we can rest those guys some and not necessarily have them on the floor constantly because they get tired.
Will we see the 3 post players in the game at the same time again?
Well, I don't know. You need to ask them that because I'd love to put them out there. It's a hard lineup to try to play offense against because they're so big. They cover so much ground. And if they're in it and their mind's right, that's a good lineup for us to have out there. And if we're going to be the dominant team that we want to be, we need another bullet in our gun, and that would be a pretty powerful one if those kids decided to play.
You said before that if an assistant coach makes a suggestion, you'll try it. You'll blame them if it doesn't work. So was this your idea, or did someone else come up with this one?
No, that one was mine because I don't think either one of the.
Did they try to talk you out of it?
No, they all just sat there with their mouths open because we had been meeting about it for 2 days about what we were going to do and how we were going to figure stuff out, and that was that option never came into a discussion. And I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you just do stuff, and I thought, we've never done it before, so let's try it, and it worked. Now it could have backfired, and it might backfire the next time, but it worked once, and maybe it'll work again.
You've beaten Belmont, Air Force, Southern Miss, St. Louis. Your only losses to Purdue, 4-1. You say this schedule's a lot tougher than the one last year. You got to be happy with that record where you are right now.
Yeah, 4-1. We're pleased. We really like the Purdue game again, not because we think we can beat them, because I think we did some things that's not characteristic of us. The players did, and I did as a coach. And if we're going to get beat, we just want to get beat doing what we do. And if you can beat us, fine. But when you make mistakes and do some things that's not in your character, that kind of sits with you, and that game kind of bothers us now. But so as pleased as we are right now, we're about to hit Indiana State, Memphis, Vanderbilt, Central Arkansas. I mean, it's going to be a tough stretch now. We're just right in the middle of it.
Okay, we'll take a break. Skyhawk Talk continues with Coach Kevin McMillan live from Snappy Tomato Pizza on the Skyhawk Sports Network.